Chapter 5. Morning Light. Morning crept in slowly, streaks of light slipping through the cleaner panes of the warehouse office windows. Dust drifted through the air, soft and unhurried. Resin rolled toward the back of the couch to escape the glow, then gave up, surrendering to the day. No alarm, no urgency. Just Savannah waking beyond the walls. Benny was passed out on the couch, one arm draped over his face, the other still loosely holding a book across his chest. The flashlight lay dead beside him, its battery surrendering hours ago. Resin sat up, rubbed the sleep from his eyes, and stretched until his shoulders cracked. He moved with the lazy precision of someone who didn't have a schedule, but still had a plan. He cleaned up the paper plates and to-go bag from the night before, then packed a few small items in his bag. 2 watches, some earrings, a few bracelets, just enough to maybe catch Louie's interest. Then he slipped out. The city was alive but not quite loud yet, the kind of morning where you could actually hear your own footsteps on the sidewalk. Resin walked with a loose stride, hands in his pockets, taking the long route. He stopped at a little cafe tucked just off East Bay, a place with a crooked sign and strong coffee served in paper cups that always leaked a little at the seam. The owner didn't ask questions. Resin liked that. Coffee in hand, he made his way to the river walk. The air carried the scent of salt and early freight. He found a spot along the railing and leaned against it, letting the breeze thread through his jacket. The river was busy this morning. Barges low in the water, tugboats slicing through the current. Food delivery trucks dropped off seafood fresh from the boats. A couple jogged by, headphones in, breath steady and rhythmic. Resin sipped his coffee slowly. He didn't rush moments like this. He liked the little things, the smell of the river, the warmth of the cup in his hands, the gulls circling overhead. It was the closest thing he got to peace. When the cup was nearly empty and the barge he'd been watching disappeared down the bend, he pushed off the railing and turned toward Bull Street. A blaring air horn cut through the quiet morning. Resin jumped back just in time as a freight truck barreled past without slowing. The cobblestone street made it jump and jerk like it had no suspension left. The truck itself looked like it had been stitched together from scrapyard leftovers. Sun-faded paint, rust blooming along the edges, and tires worn smooth from too many miles and not enough mercy. Far from fancy, but capable, like it had hauled things no one wanted to talk about and never once asked questions. The logo on the cargo door had been stenciled in a deep green, Zvernov Transport Group. The letters were faded but unmistakable, a brand, not just a name. And at the bottom, a crooked "How's my driving" sticker. The truck rolled on. Resin watched it disappear down River Street, the tension in his chest easing just enough to exhale. Resin headed south. The Zvernov freight truck rumbled into the JW's private loading dock. The engine let out a tired growl, its frame vibrating as if it had carried too much for too long. The JW wasn't just a hotel, it was a performance. Officially, it was the JW Marriott Savannah Plant Riverside District, though no one called it that. Around town, it was simply the JW. It looked less like a hotel and more like a power station, reimagined with a museum's budget and a stage designer's flair for the dramatic. Towering fossils loomed over the lobby under sculpted beams of light. Artifacts glittered behind glass, staged for admiration. Geodes sat cracked open. The floors reflected everything except warmth. The air itself felt curated, cool, scented faintly with stone and polish, like time had been filtered out of it. Guests didn't just check in. They entered slowly, spoke softly, drifted like museum goers. The place whispered luxury, its history still visible beneath the polish. Out back, at the loading dock, 2 large men climbed down from the truck and swung open the cargo doors. A hotel staffer stepped out to meet them. "Can I help you, gentlemen?" One of the men handed over a folded invoice, silent, direct. Inside the cargo bay sat a single crate, unmarked, nearly as tall as the men and almost as wide. The staffer glanced at the invoice, brow tightening just a touch. "Ah, okay. The new exhibit. I'll grab a cart for—" He stopped mid-sentence, watching as the men lifted the heavy crate with practiced ease and carried it inside without waiting. No reply, no struggle. Just 2 sets of steady footsteps fading into the building. On his way through the historic district, Resin cut across the squares, weaving through the city like someone who belonged there. Tour groups passed him, flip-flops, sun hats, cameras out, snapping photos of buildings that hadn't changed in hundreds of years. Resin moved between them without effort. Same jacket, same boots, same rhythm. But he was off the clock. The shop sat tucked away, just past the south end of Forsyth. The kind of place you only notice if you're looking for it. You could walk past it 3 times and never see it. A bit of a hike. Worth it, probably. If Louis is behind the counter, this is easy. He owes Resin a favor, or 10. A few blocks up, he realized he was near that house again, the one from yesterday. The music still lingered in his mind. It was just a block to the right. He didn't mean to turn. He did anyway. As he got closer, he could hear it. The music, still playing. The window stood open. The smell of breakfast drifted out from the kitchen, warm and domestic. It should have been ordinary. It wasn't. He found himself at the window before he decided to be. The room was clean, too clean, everything arranged with deliberate precision, untouched by the mess of living. From down the hall came the steady scrape of a spatula against a pan. Resin felt something before he understood it. Just inside the open window, on a table inches from the sill, sat a dagger, polished wood handle, fine engravings along the blade, green stones set into the hilt, glinting in the morning light. It should have been just another object in a room full of them. It wasn't. His eyes locked on it. A tightness formed low in his chest, familiar but not from memory. The music dulled. The clatter from the kitchen blurred just the dagger. For a second, he had the strange impression it had been waiting there, waiting for him. The thought should have unsettled him. It didn't. Just one thing. The old man wouldn't even notice. Resin stretched his hand out, fingertips hovering over the dagger. A hard metallic bell rang. Resin froze. The sound echoed once more before he recognized it, an old rotary phone ringing in the living room. From down the hall, a spatula tapped against the rim of a pan. The hallway floor started to creak under the old man's weight. Footsteps toward him, slow, unhurried, closer. He should have pulled back. He didn't. His fingers closed around the handle. Warm. He dropped below the sill just as the old man stepped into the room. Resin's heart pounded. He didn't move. He tucked the dagger into his jacket. The warmth lingered. The old man crossed to the phone and lifted the receiver. Resin slowly slipped away towards the street and didn't look back, walking like nothing happened. Inside, the old man chatted pleasantly on the phone. He paused. His nose twitched. Sniffing the air, he smelled something. And it wasn't sausage and potatoes on the stove.